Hello everyone, HuskeyNinja here, and welcome to my channel. Today is episode 2 of my Weiss Schwarz 101. Today we're going to have a look at what is a character card. Character cards make up a majority of Weiss Schwarz. And they look a little something like this. But today we're going to have a little walkthrough as to what each bit is. Because I know if you're new to the game, or not used to how in a card game, a card like this will work. So without further ado, we will start with what is in the top corner. Up here, you'll find your level and cost. This varies from a level of 0 to a cost of 3, sometimes more than 3 for the cost, dependent on the card. Is a good way to gather like how much you need to pay of stock to play with the cost, as well as a reminder of like, can you play it this time or can't you, dependent on your player level. Well, the level that is on your stage. So it's a good way to gauge what that bit is. It can also apply to like what sort of cards you can get, what special abilities cards do you have. Next, we will have a look at what is this part. This part here, you may be wondering, is your trigger icon. Now, you'll find this on both character cards, event cards, and climax cards. Some of them are blank, like on this level 1 mini Sakura white dress from the Cardcaptor Sakura English set. But you also have some which has a soul icon, which is of a fleur-de-lis, which looks like a fancy 3-headed spear-esque head. But you'll find that symbol in that corner as well. But also with some climax cards, you'll find a special kind of trigger, which we'll look into when we get to climax cards. But they gauge like if you attack, you take a card from the top of your deck, see if there's an icon here before you put in your stock, and it'll gauge if you get an extra soul damage or not on top of your attack you have. So think of it as like a mini little power booster. But not to your power area, but to your soul damage. Next, you may be curious, what's with all the writing down here? Well, that, guys, that is your card's ability. They vary from continuous abilities, older abilities, ones you have to pay stock for, climax combos where you have some cards that have a special ability if you play a specific climax card, or if your card is a backup card where it tells you like you need to pay this much from your stock in order to do this ability to give this card an extra power to try and protect it. So stuff like that, including abilities where it's like it'll mention a specific character card. And if that card is in your waiting room or in your deck, you can bring that card out. So it's very important you pay attention as to what your card does. There are some sets where there's absolutely no text at all there, and it's just solid artwork, like in the Colorful Stage Hatsune Miku set, or as it's better known as Project Sakai. But you also have ones where you don't have text there, but you still have like all the extra details at the bottom. Those we will call vanilla cards. But the ones from Project Sakai, you don't even have the bottom bit either. But majority cards are like this. We have an ability, it tells you what it'll do, and it's very important you pay attention to that, as it tells you what that card can and cannot do, including what order those things must be done. There are also some that say you may do this, and then there's others where it'll just be like, you have to do this, or this card does this ability, does X damage to your opponent, and then in brackets it'll be like, damage can be cancelled. So special abilities like that include ones where it's like, depending on how many cards are in your stock, your card will get extra power. Which brings us on to, what is this? This big number you see on the bottom left corner is your power, or as we call it, your base power. This is if you play your card and you don't do any abilities at all, don't have any cards we call assist cards that can give 500 power upwards as their ability if it's on your backstage. But this is basically gauge, can this card beat the card it's gonna attack? The bit next to it is your soul damage, which is the actual damage done. So the way you have to think about it is, your power is to see, can you beat this card? Even if it's a higher level than your card, can you beat it? Or is there a high chance your card will be reversed? I.e. defeated. But it's also a way for certain ways of doing attacks will affect. Like if you do what's known as a side attack, it is level, but you take away the level difference from your soul. So that dictates how much damage you do to your opponent. It is also a good way to gauge, like, if you're attacking your opponent's stage, there's nothing in front of, for example, this card. You attack. You get an extra power. You get an extra soul damage onto your opponent because there's nothing there. But you also you also have a climax card that gives an extra soul. So you have 3 soul. But then if you trigger the card you trigger from the top of your deck has a soul icon in the corner, that brings you to 4 damage to your opponent, which can be cancelled by climax cards, but I'll get to that when we do the climax card episode. So that's how fast-paced Weiss Schwarz can be. Sometimes there won't be an icon, so you draw a card like this one that has no trigger icon at all. Or you'll draw a climax card that have their own trigger icons that do their own wonderful abilities. It is fun because you never know what you're going to get for your trigger step. But all in all, it is a good way to see how you attack. The yellow boxes you see, they are your traits. Traits are important. Some will be like for the Ruby set, it's Remnant, and in the series being Ruby. For card Captain Sakura Clear card, it's a Japanese word for friendship and magic. You have sets like Fantasia Bunko, which are complete mixture sets, including High School DxD, where you have like Celestial, Demon, and all kinds of other traits. You have things like, for example, Love Live Sunshine, where it's mostly music. Project Sakai, where it's the individual groups and music as its traits. But if it's also a Vocaloid character, you also have Virtual Singer on there. It also helps remind you what set you are playing. As, for example, you can't mix Cardcaptor Sakura with Ruby. Each set is their own. The exception to that being with Fantasia Bunko, because it has Data Live cards. Those cards can be used in a Data Live deck as long as they both say Data Live. You can't use the other cards from the Fantasia Bunko sets with the Data Live base sets. We also have the likes of Gungao. That is its own set separate from Sora Online. You'll also find this as well with the different Fate sets. Some you can mix together, others you cannot. Which is its own entire headache. But this is the gist of what a character card is. But if your card has a backup ability or an alarm ability, there'll be an extra symbol below the cost. Whether that be a fist or a clock. But they are their own abilities that happen. Oh, alarm, it's like if it's in your clock zone at a certain point, it does its ability. Backup, it's like you pay to give a character an extra power boost as long as that character you're giving it to is being attacked via a front attack. So I hope this video has helped a little bit. As I know Weiss Schwarz can be confusing, but I hope this series helps you all out. So please make sure you check out the rest of my videos here. I do have Weiss Schwarz matches, so if you want to see how a game runs, make sure you check them out. Some are via webcam, some are via the Weiss Schwarz Simulator, which is a wonderful fan-made player resource. And also while you're down there, please give me a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Click on the bell icon so you know whenever I post. And also, please don't be afraid to check out the rest of the videos here on my channel. Until next time, bye everyone!